Hello, this is Group 1 of UNIV 1301, and our analysis is over Willa Cather's A Death in the Desert. In Willa Cather's A Death in the Desert, Everett Hilgard deals with internal conflicts associated with his brother Adrian's fame and struggles to cope with it as he slowly loses his grip on his own identity. Associated with this is his acquaintance Catherine Gaylord's death as she deteriorates over the course of the story alongside his internal struggles.
About the author. Willa Sibert Cather, widely known as Willa Cather, was an American author known for her literary pieces describing life on the American frontier following early settlement in the United States. She was the eldest of her parents' 7 children, and her childhood on the prairie gave her the inspiration she would later use in her future works. She began college career in 1890 at the University of Nebraska. She developed an interest in journalism, short story writing, and teaching. She wrote her first stories following her relocation to New York from Pittsburgh, which included O Pioneers from 1913, April Twilights from 1903, My Antonia from 1918, and One of Ours from 1922, the latter winning her the Pulitzer Prize. Her later works are based on the passing of the frontier life and her settling into a smaller town life. She spent her final years dedicating herself to nonfiction literary pieces before her death in 1947. Cather's way of relating how her characters understand and interact with their own emotional and physical surroundings have brought her praise and acclaim that distinguishes her as one of the most prominent American novelists to this day.
The story was narrated through a third-person narration, and having this kind of style, the narrator becomes omniscient. It gives a broader perception, and having to express one thought of a character creates a connection with the readers. The characters in the story are mainly Everett Hilgard, Adrian Hilgard, and Catherine Gaylord. Everett Hilgard is a musician traveling from cities to cities, and he is always mistaken as his older brother. Adrian Hilgard is the older brother of Everett. He is a music prodigy known by many. Although he didn't really have an actual appearance, he was indirectly introduced throughout the story. Catherine Gaylord is a former singer and pupil of Adrian's. When Everett was on his way to his business engagement, he came across with Catherine by chance, and there he finds that Catherine was dying and decided to delay his work to stay with her.
It conveys a subliminal message of jealousy and aloofness that comes in part from Everett's feelings towards his brother. This makes him reconsider his own persona. The author uses this as a general motive theme for the short story. The repeated sense of jealousy also explains Everett's aloof feelings when reminiscing with Catherine, that because he is as famous as he is, it's all part of a show. The author expresses a conflict when she says, "Like him, isn't it?" she said quietly. "I think I can scarcely answer his letter, but when you see him next to you, can you do that for me?" Although they have all these beautiful memories together with Adrian's, it downgrades the importance they had on Adrian's life to a general sense that there should have been a lack of general expectations when it comes to how important they were in his life. In Catherine's deterioration of health and Everett's expectations of there being more of a sympathetic response from Adrian's, they internalize the conflict within themselves, and both characters go through a semi-morphosis from idolizing Adrian's success to just being like any other regular human being.
The world is constantly broadcasting information to you about how to act and interact with people in the world. This process allows individuals to place themselves in the world with genuine intent and forthright sovereignty. However, in the story A Death in the Desert by Willa Sibert Cather, the protagonist Everett is robbed of this personal process by his older and much more successful brother Adrian. This causes an internal conflict within Everett, who struggles to form an integrated identity that reflects his true character. Everett is ultimately forever associated with his brother in an important way that prevents Everett from becoming an individual. In the end, Everett accepts his internal conflict with his identity and individuality due to people always misidentifying him as Adrian's, and comes to terms that he would always live inside his brother's shadow.